ALP in the building.
Let's keep this moving, man.
Yes. We've been doing some fire. We've been hitting some fire. Some salt and pepper, some adobo, some sofrito, some oregano. You guys already know. It's about to get live on ALP.
Let's keep this moving, man.
Yes. What is up, everybody? What is going down? Right. Welcome to ALP. We got a special guest. We got the homie Starbuck in the building. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So
I'm counting dark summons right now. How you doing?
yes, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. So what's up, Starbuck? How's everything going, brother?
Doing good. You know, I thought I did more dark summons. I honestly, at first, I didn't think I did that many, but I guess I did 56 to end out that dark summoning event, which is way more than I thought I would do. So 112 heroes have met their fate, and some good stuff has came out of it. At least 3 things. So that's not bad.
56. Okay. I like that. That's what's up. I didn't hit nowhere near that. I think I did like 15 or something like that. I was going to do a lot more, but I was like, yeah.
I would never do that many, but, you know, it's like an opportunity that, you know, if there's a chance to win a Gen 0, I'm always in. Like for those crystal drawings that they do every month, I do every single one. I don't know about you. At least something, you know?
Yeah, you got to throw something. If there's even an ounce of being able to get a Gen 0, I think you should at least try. You know what I mean? You should at least try. But let's get down to business, people. So you guys know this is the new hero building series. This is the actual first episode, right? The last one was an introduction on talking about what we're going to do, right? I want to bring Starbuck on specifically because first things first, we know what kind of partners with our Gen 0. So that kind of gave us a good solid relationship. And then, you know, on top of that, Starbuck's pretty good when it comes to looking at traits and actually really analyzing what he's doing. He's not just throwing things together for the hell of it. He actually analyzes what he does. And I've noticed that by just observing and watching what he does. Right. So I want to use that to all of our advantage so we can get some of that knowledge and some of that insight and possibly slow some of us down a tad bit just so we can build heroes a little bit better.
There you
That's
go.
all. Right. I think it's important. You know what? A lot of us are strictly gunning for just a couple traits. No one's looking at the full spectrum of what's actually going down. You know, some of these basic traits are great. Some of these advanced traits are great. You know, and I think we need to really look and analyze on which ones go with who, which ones benefit which class, and actually how the hell to do this, why we're stoning. I'm sure Starbuck got a really good reason on why he stones all his heroes. Y'all probably need to hear that, you know. And that, and also I actually want to talk to him about how he levels his heroes up. What is he using? Crystals, you know, is he using specific crystals? You know,
All right.
are those benefiting him?
And I'm pretty consistent with the way I do stuff. So I get in a habit of liking one way of doing it, and then I stick to it for a while. So I know I get some pushback on my methods quite a bit, but like I said, if I'm getting what I'm getting, I'm not worried about what other people think that aren't getting the same stuff.
Yes, you really can't be though. You can't really be concerned, man. You gotta kind of stick to what you do and be consistent with your own methods. I've kind of noticed that being in
you've
this
been hot for a minute too. I mean, you've been popping out Dread Knights since your second Dread Knight try. I can't say the same. Not even close.
Hey, we're all working here. But you know, lately in the last like month, maybe even two, I've truly sat and really started really analyzing what I have. And like, okay, is this hero, you know, worth keeping for a long time?
Right.
You know, because remember, I'm new. So man, I came in when dark summoning really came in, and that's when I was like, I started really hitting with the pit. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to just throw everything away. There's some heroes that are really worth keeping, you know, that are really valuable and might be good in PvP. Some might be really good questers, so on and so forth. You know what I mean?
Well, with dark summoning here, I mean, it changed the way I look at my heroes. For the longest time, you'd ask me what my best hero was, and I would have told you a ninja with a transcendent and elite ability. And with the increase of dark summons and the possibility to effectively just make whatever you can afford, as long as you have the right sound strategy behind it. That ninja has become less and less attractive as my favorite hero. Not that I have anything against it. I don't plan on burning it. But at the same time, those abilities might be a lot more attractive to me if I were to get it on a sage, or if I get it, on a spell bow and prepare myself for whatever that next tree brings on those heroes. That to match up with that spell bow to make the next exalted, and then hopefully take some of my Dread Knights and make the next transcendent class hero. So, I mean, nothing seems burnable right now, but once we find out what that next transcendent hero is above Dread Knight and the next class, all bets are off the table.
Yeah, that's actually why I'm keeping a spellbow that I have. I'm actually holding on to it. Got no summons left, so I'll have to burn it with whatever new elite class comes.
Imagine you get the first one of spellbow, whatever it is, tank, and you've got the battle mage.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's why I'm holding on to it. But thanks to our pair is the only reason why I was able to attain that.
Well, there you go.
You know, our Gen Zero pair really benefited me in there. And actually, that pair using a Gen Zero and popping out these Gen Ones actually really made me start to look at things a tad bit differently.
Totally.
Just having Gen Ones and seeing, for the longest time I thought like just basic traits were like trash, whack, but some of them are useful.
Sure. I mean, you've got ones like ours that prints out the double critical aim. And critical aim on a spellbow, get out of here.
Man, critical aim on a lot of like front row or archers or like any melee attack or archer attack heroes are fire.
Ninjas with critical aim might be dope. With such high luck, or thieves, who knows? They could be.
And speaking on that, let's actually go look at critical aim, people, for y'all, so y'all can see what we're talking about. You see critical aim, of course, everything we say is always speculative, but I think it's pretty damn close to being what it is, right? I'm
This
gonna
is
say
not
95%.
financial advice.
Exactly,
Now
exactly,
you know.
exactly. But look at that. It activate to gain an additional 70% to critical for 2 rounds. Now that is incredibly useful. Deal damage to target enemy equal to 1/0 basic, right? So basically you're giving your whichever hero you're using this with 70% for like a critical damage attack, I would naturally assume, right?
Mhm.
Uh that's huge. That is huge. For a Dread Knight, that's huge. For a Dragoon, that's huge. My question is critical aim, could it be used with magic? Like, would that
Yeah,
increase a critical damage for like Fireball?
yeah, because it doesn't change. It doesn't say that it's only for physical attack or for magical attack or anything. It usually would say,
Yep.
you know, except for this, except for that, and it just you activate an additional 70% chance to crit for 2 rounds. Deal damage to target enemy equal to 1 times basic. So it sounds like you're gonna deal that damage, and you're gonna have that boosted 70% odds to get a critical hit from that,
Yep.
and you know, hopefully
Yep.
take someone out.
So
For
any
2 rounds.
attack hero will be using this. So if you have a good wizard, that could be useful to have, you know. But remember, you gotta really analyze what you have. There might be other things that you might need more valuable for that team. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
Just
and
depends on what you're doing.
you get double critical aim then for 4 rounds. I mean, obviously you've got to manage your move economy, and make sure that you're not you've got um, you've got time and you've got no other focuses to do during that time, but you'll have an opportunity to do 2 attacks, or excuse me, 4 rounds of attacks that'll increase that crit damage.
Yep, and that's huge. So right now, what I'm thinking about me and Starbuck doing is building a warrior. So I'm thinking for the first, couple weeks we'll be building basic heroes, and then we're advanced to building advanced heroes, and then we'll go to building elite heroes, and so on and so forth. But I kind of want everybody to realize that every hero you have can be extremely useful,
Right.
right? Every hero you have can be useful if built correctly. If built correctly, you can have a great hero, right? So we have a warrior over here that me and Starbucks pair actually printed. We printed this warrior bard with our pair. Now, our pair prints critical aim attacks, right? So he has one. He has critical aim. I think that's great for a warrior because the warrior's a tank. He's going to be in the front. Probably want him to have high vig, high strength, so he can take damage, dish out damage, all that stuff. Of course, in my opinion. What about you? What do you think? What would you have your warriors doing on the battlefield, man?
I mean, I like crit for an active move. I mean, Wowie says always bring a cleanse, and with my favorite move set incorporating toxic, that rings really true with me. And then, I mean, with a warrior, it's hard to go wrong on this. I mean, even if it says heal, and you think, oh, with my warrior, I don't want to be heal. Well, if you can use a 20% heal and your warrior's going down, you're not going to be, you know, that you could have a cleanse and then never have something to use that cleanse on.
Yeah.
Or you can have speed and gain first attack, but your first attack not be very, meaningful depending on the type of hero you have. But critical aim, if you're going to have a multiple chances to get crit, that's valuable to me. Death mark, increasing your 20% damage to that opponent. What I don't know is that does that 20%, does that include yourself? It's because it says increased damage from allies. I'd assume you're your own ally. I mean, that could be very beneficial. There's not a move set on there that I just am not happy with.
Yeah.
We've heard Wowie talk quite a bit that speed will probably be reworked. And I mean, on there, if I've got a warrior, reduce physical damage taken by 20% for 4 rounds, iron skin on a warrior, that's killer.
That's what I like. I was thinking the same thing. Having maybe like I was thinking, try to have this critical aim, maybe try to turn this blinding wind to Iron Skin, right? And I was thinking possibly turning leadership, because I would like to have leadership on like a mid character to kind of boost that frontline individual, if that's possible. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. Like with these attacks here, let's say you have would Iron Skin only be able to be applied on yourself, or would you be able to apply Iron Skin onto another hero, like an ally?
I think it's on yourself only. I could be wrong, but I think it's on yourself. Ours
Okay.
also does make the hardened shield. So for ours, we
Yep.
have also the opportunity to make hardened shield, which is effectively just iron skin plus 10%.
Which actually would be really nice to have, even because it doesn't. Would you be able to use both? Probably not, huh?
I think if you have one and the other, yeah. So I mean, in one round you use your reduce physical damage by 20% for 4 rounds. I would assume if you had 2 of those and you use that move back to back, then you'd be reducing 40%. But it wouldn't be most likely for the same 4 rounds unless there's a mechanism that allows you to use 2 moves in 1 round. It'd be activate your move, reduce physical damage for the 4 rounds. So it'd activate for 1 round, and then you go again, you activate again. And in that round, you'd have 40%, 40, 40, and then 20% to round it out. So it'd be like a curve.
Interesting.
But if I understand it, if the way I understand it is correct.
Because what I'm thinking is like, do you think since we have, let's go back and look at this guy. Let's look at this guy. So we got the critical aim. So we have opportunity to put Iron Skin because we have that recessive one. So maybe we should possibly use that. Leadership would turn into what? Giant Slayer? I think that would turn into Giant Slayer right there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Giant
It would
Slayer.
turn into Giant Slayer. I would, my own thought process, I would like to have a stun on him. I would like to put a stun on my warrior. You know, but
let's
see.
I like stun in general. I also like second wind because they're going to have higher vigor as well, or higher HP too. So for a warrior, both of those actives are attractive to me. But as a move set, I do like stun as my favorite. Deal damage to target enemy equal to 1 times basics. Stun target enemy for 1 round, which I think is similar to lose a turn.
Which would be so nice to have, but days is similar, isn't it? No, days. What's the difference between days and
I think you just can't use an ability, but you might still be able to attack, and your potentially your accuracy or your dexterity probably goes down. I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
Interesting.
I think days is like sunlight.
Yeah.
Maybe exhaust is similar. I don't know what those ones are. Days. Yeah, I'll have to hold off. I need to phone a Wowie.
Exactly, which we will eventually. I'll eventually bring him on here to talk about hero building as well, for sure. Now, this is just episode 1, so we're just gonna be over here experimenting, talking, trying to figure this shit out, eh? Trying to figure this out, Starbuck. Trying to figure this out. Okay, though. So we have an opportunity to possibly make a giant slayer, but would a giant slayer be good? Possibly, because you think the front line, most people are probably gonna try to have dreads on their front line, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to speculate what people are going to have because not everybody even has a single dread, let alone everybody to have a dread. I think ideally you could have a dread or a tank on the front, but then you'll have heroes that they have moves that you can push and pull right off the bat. So if you have a sage in the back, who knows? That sage could automatically move to the front, and then you got to use your turn economy to switch positions with that hero. So there's going to be a bunch of unique mechanisms that dictate how the gameplay is most advantageously played, with a couple of reliable strategies that are going to kind of frame up what that meta framework looks like. But that at the same time, it sounds like it'll be ever evolving, and there'll be some balancing. Like for me, I'm building all these heroes for explosion and toxic, and I've done a pretty good job at doing it. But who's to say that the mechanic won't be broken when the PvP finally drops? And maybe it does kick butt at first, but they're like, oh yeah, it was too powerful. We have to nerf it or switch the way it works. There's in beta, anything can happen, and they've been pretty clear of it. Even the testing grounds that we've seen today, it clearly states that this is not going to be the final version, and you can't even do half the stuff in there. There's no advanced abilities. We haven't really seen something that indicates to us that having these exalted and elite abilities are going to be as big of a difference maker. We like to think they are. It makes sense, but like I said before, when Priest first came out, if having a Priest as a subclass on a Dread Knight is equivalent to having a exalted transcendent ability, then I potentially wasted all my money in that. I could have just been focusing on getting a Priest subclass on anything. Now we got to hope that that's not true, but in alpha, all we can do is, or in this alpha/beta stage, all we can do is speculate.
But even if that was the case, though, you basically be able to have almost 3 heroes in one, because let's say you do have that resurrection, right? And then you have a dread freaking wizard or something, right? Now you have wizard abilities, you have that resurrection that the priest has, and then you have your dread ability. So either way, it's still useful. I get what you're saying, though. That is definitely
it is to get transcendent to pop on there
7%
versus to pass on a priest. I could pass on a priest on anything. All you gotta do is get a priest subclass that's very, very backed up, and then do a summon with a dread knight. Then you've got something that versus getting a transcendent. Like I know people have done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of summons, still haven't gotten one transcendent.
I know, man. It's crazy. It really is crazy. But that's the thing, though. Even this, that's why it's all speculative, and it's like, would a priest subclass, would you be able to even do what a full priest can do with a subclass?
I think you can
possibly, right?
I mean, with the skill points that you have, it doesn't necessarily mean that hero is going to be built for it. Like, you might have a priest with a Dread Knight subclass, and all the benefits of the Dread Knight may come from the abilities of the Dread Knight. That, there might be some attacks that are great to have on a priest, but I'm pretty sure you'd prefer to have a Dread Knight priest than a priest Dread Knight.
Yeah.
Or else my Paladin Dread Knight's looking really, really pretty right now. I don't know what to
say. see, this is why I like having Starbuck on here, man. You think, bro. You think. And that's really, really important to have in this phase of what we're doing.
Yeah, what are your thoughts? Like, if having a transcendent ability is the same as having a priest subclass, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's it's gonna suck a lot, because a lot of people have been putting a lot of time into building and getting those abilities. I highly doubt that, though. I highly doubt it's gonna be like that, because even if
I doubt it too, but I'm prepared to make a game if I have to that works the way that I want it to work, where active 1 and active 2 mean 2 separate things. Maybe 1 is for a physical attack, 2 is for a mana-based attack, and then passive 1 completely regenerates the HP, and then passive 2 just completely regenerates MP, to the point where, like, it feels like it's impossible to beat them. But in like a PvE setting where we're roaming lands and fighting, I want to be able to do something with my active 1 and active 2. I don't just want to pop back up with half my HP back. Like, if again, like I said, if having a resurrection is the same as taking a large HP potion or a health potion, or having a priest, I'm be pissed.
Well, I think if you think about it like this, in one kind of thought, like, to get that resurrection from that priest or whatever the ability is that is named, it takes a certain amount of skill points, right? So if that dread that you have with resurrection, and you already have the resurrection, you probably ain't gonna have to sacrifice, let's say, that 15-point slot to get that priest ability. You get what I'm saying?
No, I get that too, but we're so far out from 15-point abilities that like we're not even talking about that maybe this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know, but that's when it's gonna pop up though, right? You have to
Yeah,
have like
people are
10 or
thinking, oh yeah, you
15.
got to think long term. Well, like the game has to make it through short term to even consider long term. Like
That's fact.
if within level 1 through 20 the game sucks, I'm not gonna be there for level 21.
Very true. But that's a good point. Because you're already gonna have resurrection at level 1.
Right, right.
So at
So these
least
abilities were
you beat the curve.
exalted. Yeah, with resurrection, like you're gonna have these abilities, and I think that in levels 1 through 20, they're gonna be significant drivers and
Yeah.
difference makers in these battles. And later on, as the abilities get better and better, stronger and stronger, maybe those initial abilities aren't as I mean, they'll always be helpful, but they won't be as critical down the line.
Yeah.
We don't know that if they make it in a way that even at level 100, having a resurrection is a meaningful ability and it's worth the time and effort and money it takes to get an exalted ability, then yeah, that's awesome. Like that's great. That's what we're hoping for. But I
Yeah.
just can't envision it in my head right now based on what we've seen for the game's mechanics set up right now. And again, it's pre-out. We're in like pre-alpha mode.
Yeah.
Anything
We're
that they
nowhere
put out
near even
today,
scratching the
they can
tad bit of the
change
surface.
tomorrow.
Like literally, we're at like a sliver of what's even going on. You
Yeah,
know what I
bury
mean?
me
Which
a
is
sliver in.
a tad sliver, dude. Like it's crazy. But
Mm,
either way, I still think like, having like you have a dread with second life.
2. Oh no, I have
Two,
one. One.
one with second life, and then two with resurrection.
Right.
Right. So that second life though, man, that's kind of like the all go to with at least with a dread. And see, I think resurrection will be good with like the support characters. Like I got like my spellbolt resurrection, right? That's gonna be useful to have. Like if I don't have a dread that has second life, which right now I don't. And let's pretend the game came out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't have a second life dread. So at least my spellbolt can bring my dread back.
That's my thoughts with my 2 resurrection dreads is that
Yeah,
they can bring back my spellbow.
exactly. Exactly.
Here, I made this graphic for you earlier. I'll share my screen.
Yeah. Take over whenever you want, man. Whenever you feel like you have a good thought or something good, hell yeah,
Yeah.
take over. Show us something dope, man. And then Skiller, okay, what's going on in the chat, man? While he takes over this, won't level up. Great, okay.
I
Skiller
think
said he
that
thinks that's
that
bullshit.
was in reference to a priest dread knight.
Let me add that real quick. That should be popping up any minute. Boom. Oh yes, I was looking at this. This was sick. This was sick. I saw you make this because he's gonna have the damn dragon in it, which is beautiful, dude.
Yeah, I got the
Beautiful.
black dragon on my winged dread knight with second life. I figured,
Yes.
why not have From Blood here riding my Dreamstone Direwolf? Because of course they have to be huge. And then the tiny little bloater snail on the top of this dread knight head. Like
But yo, that
that's
dread
Gary.
with the wolf, the
That
dread
that
with the wolf.
that
He,
that snail's name is Gary, by the way, before anybody else tries to cop that.
oh yeah, hell yeah, bro, SpongeBob. But look at his wolf over here, people. The wolf with the dread with the wolf. He has critical aim, bro. Critical aim, resurrection, and double clutch.
Yep.
Now, clutch. Increased damage dealt by 30% when below 30% health. He has that double. Dude, that
Yeah.
dread is savage, dude.
So imagine when it goes down. So it's doubled. That's stat. So that'll be
Yeah,
increased 60% by the time it's down
60%.
to 30%. So that would be the time where I'd want to utilize that critical aim.
Yep.
Boom,
Yep.
boom.
Smash. He's gonna be taking dudes out with one swing, dude. That's
Oh,
savage. I was looking at that one specifically when you showed me. I think you is in the Twitter feed that we have. Fire, like fire, and then he
that
has a double
question.
heal, which is interesting.
I think I would rather have double second wind than resurrection. You remember I brought that up a lot of times in the past to Workhorse, to everybody. I was like, is it better to have 2 elites or 1 transcendent before I had a transcendent? Because I had 2 second lives on my dragoon and my wizard. I was trying to see how valuable those second lives were, or second wins were.
Second win.
I think second win is going to be way better, in my opinion. This is just my hot take, than resurrection. Number one, because resurrection, you come back 50%. You're bringing someone else back at 50%, meaning they would have had to die first. If you die before you've used that and they don't die, then that's a waste of move economy, number one. Number two, if when you do that, you become exhausted, or they become exhausted. On the flip side, with second wind, you can increase 50% of your life. So imagine I'm down to right at 50% with these heroes that I have right now. That with second wind, I would have an additional 185, 187, and some change of my HP back. And then 75% of that value would go to each of my allies. So, 100 and,
that's a beast, bro.
20, 130, somewhere around there, going to each of my allies, because I'm taking the HP denominator from my Dread Knight. I feel like second win is the better play and the easier move to get. And for players like me that have double second win, I just got to figure out how to get that double second wind onto a hero with second life, and then that's probably going to be my move for.
That's going to be a go-to right there, bro.
I already have the ingredients to try that at least twice.
And man, that's savage. Because second wind is really nice, man. But all the elite abilities are badass though, man. Because even Last Stand's badass. When this hero's health drops below 20%, become invulnerable for a whole round. So for a whole round, this guy ain't getting no damage taken. He's just savaging. Like that's badass too, man. But of course you have to be at 20% though. So you're talking damn near death just to be able to act.
I'm putting him up front.
Yeah.
That
would be good that might be good for a warrior, right?
Yeah, put him up front and then have the one with second life in the middle, and then the one with resurrection and efficient in the very back, and Iron Skin. So
I know.
I mean, I thought about this setup. This is a full tank setup, no question about it. Like, I don't have a healer. I'm going in to kill, and that's it. My healer is my Dread Knight, who I don't know if that heal only works on itself or if it works on its allies. But
if it works on, I don't see why it won't work on allies. But you never know. You never know. If we could do some of these attacks, like put Iron Skin on an ally, that would be useful. I don't see that necessarily going to an ally, but if you could.
So the move that I think of with this Dread Knight Pirate in the middle, Bernard, is it dies, it brings itself back. By then, the other two will have had to have died, I think. Or maybe not. But anyways, once it's brought itself back, I use those 2 heals. I'd have to wait through 2 moves to use it, through 2 rounds. But assuming that opponent doesn't have some sort of tank killer move on me, I could potentially get close to 90% of my health back after dying. Because those 2 heals are 20% and the second life is 50%. And then, of course, the one thing I like is the move that I'm trying to go against everybody with, poison. Stalwart. That's
Can't get poisoned.
Stalwart. Yep, 40%, 80% if you have 2 of them.
Yep.
But remember, 80% still got a 20% chance to get poisoned every single attack. As far as I know.
I know having a double of that would be nice, but you got to make sure you're playing that correctly against an individual that actually uses poison. So like nobody in your team right here has poison. This is just a straight damage team. This team is just literally going in to wipe you out as quick as possible. and even if you do even if you do hurt one, the other
Yeah.
one's gonna bring him right back, man.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the whole thing, is like maybe I put that front one in the front, and then the green one in the front, and then the other two resurrect it when it dies. That's gonna be a problem. And then I mean, push and pull them around, it don't matter. You're still facing a Dread Knight no matter how you pull it.
Well, the thing that's crazy about this, man. So say you get through the first dread with the defense because he has the iron skin that's pretty and it's efficient, so he uses way less mana, right? So
Right.
even if you get through the defense, you got him dead, right? He's dead. Let's say the one in the back brings him back, blah. We got all through that. You got to the last dread, which is the wolf, right? Dude, this dude got double clutch and critical aim.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be a
it
problem.
just gets harder. It just gets harder and harder every step
I
of
know.
the way.
It's like, okay, what am I gonna do against this one? That's what I was thinking when I was making this team. I was like, how can I make a team that I don't want to go up against? And then this is your end result.
Yeah, this is really, really, really tough, man. The best bet would be to maybe Azir have a guy that can at least stand his own with that defensive dread, while you have like a spell or something that can hit the back dread from a distance and try to knock him out. You got to get him out first, because if you go through all the hell to even get to him, he's gonna kill your ass. Because once he hits 30%, he's 80% critical aim in your ass. You're done. He's gonna destroy you.
Yeah.
So you want to, I think you want to kill the bad guy first. Yeah, that's gonna be the best.
For 4 rounds, critical. It's gonna be wild.
That's what I'm saying. That's deadly. But this is how we're thinking, people. And this is what we're talking about. We're trying to think about how to build what teams. So what do you want to use in your front? Usually fronts are tanks. You want to use something as a tank. But then again, listen, when we did like those little Fight Club tournaments, people were pulling little things out of nowhere, man. We had Tad had a whole ninja squad. And they're just poisoning the shit out of everybody, bro. Everybody's just poisoning. He's fast as shit, man. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. There's so many things you could pull out the magic hat. So how do you want to build your squad? Build it precisely, which is why I was thinking I'm thinking right now I want to have multiple sets of teams. Multiple sets of teams of 3. He got a Sage team.
Well, here's my special Sage. This one, from both like the attack, it's got enchanting for crafting and it's light, so it's got some blue light, going to be enchanting some of the best in the game. I'll say that right now. And Definitely. Then it's also going to be, it could be in the back row, instead of a Dread Knight. And this one has Resurrection, critical aim, headstrong, and duelist. So this could bring a dread back too, and then it covers my magic bases and potentially health, rejuvenation.
Yeah.
And then this one, blue leather working. It's got last stand, a heal, poison blade. And then this Sage is my favorite Sage, even though it's just a common. It's got resurrection and exhaust.
That's nice. That's a nice one.
Something else. We'll see.
Yeah, that's
but now that I've got resurrection on color cards, I can look at my resurrection on common cards and, maybe smash that with a mythic dragoon to go for a rare dread with resurrection and who knows, plus more.
Yeah, or just keep the Sage, man. You already got 3 beastie dreads. Why not keep a beastie Sage?
I'm at a point where I want to be able to position myself to make whatever is the best class that comes out next.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many.
Very true. Yes. I see what you're saying, because you want to be able to smash that dread or whatever. But yeah.
So everything is on the table to get burnt. The one exception is maybe that green Dread Knight, just because it's got sentimental value. This is Bud, double second wind, duelist, foresight, and I think that may be more valuable than a transcendent inactive one, but we'll see. In case it isn't, that's okay, because I have transcendent inactive 2 with a Giant Slayer on this Dragoon. So that's pretty solid. And then I just got this one yesterday. It's a basic Billy, but some
I
color.
love that double second wind goon though, man. That's nice.
Yeah, that one almost died this weekend, but I luckily summoned something else. It was a complete rug, so I'm glad this one didn't die. I mean, all everything else aside, besides the fact that it's got some dope abilities, Duelist, Foresight, which is going to increase your evasion, Second Wind, for the reasons that we already talked about. It's a hell of a fisher, and it's got purple strength.
Damn, he got the purple mythic strength, dude.
Purple mythic strength with a regular might stone back when people weren't really using stones. I mean, you could always tell by the number.
What's the regular stats, man? Like, it had beastie strength? It's a strength beastie? Like, what? Like, what's the strength looking like?
Strength 41 in purple.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, wild.
Nice.
Endurance 20. This is one of those like, luckily it's a Dragoon, so a Dragoon's going to be good at every single profession.
Exactly.
Like I said, fishing, because they're your most well-balanced class. They have endurance, which could be like, some sort of shield or protection. Basically, they've said everybody's going to want to have endurance. Because it's a fisher, initially, I would pick strength, agility, and luck. And what I really should have done was vitality the whole time for the first 10 level ups. But I did use the biggest crystals that you could on it. So, I mean, at 520 and level 10, that HP isn't really looking too bad. But I mean, wizard subclass on a Dragoon, it's going to have range. It's going to have second wind. I know it's not a mythic, but it's gonna give people problems. At least that's what my heart.
Okay, so good though. With level ups, with leveling up, what do you do to level up your heroes? Like, do you pick the same thing every time? Do you mix it up? Does it change by class? How do you?
Depends on the hero. I mean, it really does. I mean, look at right now. You've got 2 heroes side by side, a level 11 on the right, a level 10 on the left. I used crystals on every single one of these because they're transcendent and double elite. But look at the HP difference, 615 versus 520, 92 in MP versus 110. Obviously, there's been some level ups that have allowed for the hero on the left to have some significant MP boost, and vice versa on the right. But the interesting about that is this is 110, right? Level 10, 110. This one is level 11 already, and it's only 92 MP, but it's had higher intelligence level ups and wisdom level ups. So you never know. There's RNG in both the HP rolls and the MP rolls. You can crystal them up all you want, like I did on these 2. But in the end, RNG is king. So I only bring this up is because you might have a common hero that at the end of this that could be very, very comparable to a rare or a legendary if those ones just happen to have poor level ups along the way.
Yeah.
And a lot of people only think of those level ups and they think of like the abilities. The biggest thing on there, and a lot of times in a game of turn economy, is going to be HP. So level up might not be that great, but if the HP is out of this world, it might make up for that and balance some of those.
Well, that's why with me, man, I do that with my heroes that I keep, like my main ones. I always level up vitality, but that's just me.
Yeah,
I always want all my heroes to have good HP gains as best as possible. Don't get me wrong. Just because you hit by the vitality button, don't mean you're gonna get the shit. You might just get +1, and then some random ass freaking luck you get +3 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
look at the text on this one. I didn't even look at this, but I get excited when I see this. The one on the left was a regular might stone, I believe. Yeah, regular might stone. The one on the right was a greater dex. So it's got 44.5 on the second and 75 up top. But peep game on how they actually leveled up in comparison. Keep in mind the one on the right is level 11. And the one on the left is level 10, but 41 versus 16. This one on the right is going to be accurate as hell. And look I didn't have as much focus on the strength on this one. This one I focused on vitality, dexterity, and I believe, and I think also strength. So, but
Look at that.
where you build those buffs really does matter in what you end up getting, which is why those percentages mean so much. Why those greater atonement crystals are so valuable is because
Yep.
over time, all of that percentage compounds. That 2% builds up, that 1% builds up, and you get the +1 just to start you off. Like my favorite is regular atonement, but I
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to talk about those because they're so hard to find that I don't want any more competition in me buying them.
yeah. Okay. So basically, in a nutshell, use whatever advantage you have, because technically speaking, most of the time it's gonna pay off.
Yeah, well,
Most of
yeah.
the
So
time.
you based on the hero's natural growth that you have already and where you can supplement it. So what do you think? Do you think it's going to be more important to have strength on a dragoon, or do you think it's going to be more important to have dex? We know there's some
Well,
things that for sure are going to matter, like vitality. But what about that one?
well, I think on the it depends on the moves, on the abilities, on the traits. What is each dread being used for? Are you frontlining both of them? Are they both going to be for frontline? Because I think if you're gonna have a frontline hero, you want vitality and strength. Don't get me wrong, dexterity is great for agility, evasion, all that type of stuff, movement. And I think that says something about like magic accuracy and just accuracy in general. You know what I mean? But I think if you frontline them both, I think you're gonna want to have some vig and some strength. So I'll probably say the one with the strength. But if you're gonna have like that goon, like a mid character just to back up a tank, then you can
Yeah.
have that one with the dex coming through right
See,
after, like let's say, if a warrior tank or something.
and now you
Depends,
kind
man.
of get a little glimpse of what I was thinking when I was leveling them up. I don't
Yep.
know which one's going to be the best, but some are going to
Yep.
be more optimized to go one way with strength, and
Yep.
the other one's going to be more optimized to go one way with dex. I don't have to build every single hero the exact same. I had
Yeah.
an opportunity to kind of feel which one's the best. And in the end, I'm going to get to see, oh man, I'm glad I did dex, or oh man, I'm glad I did strength, but I've hedged my bets in both.
Which is actually a key reason why I wanted to bring you on here, because I know you had some good leveled up heroes, level 10s, 11s, different classes, because I've talked to you about this before, and I know you've had some pretty high up levels. So you got some experience with actually building and growing heroes.
Okay, look at this. Level 10 and it's a ninja, right? Not
Yeah.
supposed to have high HP. Like I said, I use my crystals a certain way. And the HP on this one is at 468, just
Hmm.
less than 50 below what that dragoon was at the same level. And this one, mining 19.4, agility 25. With this one, I know I did vitality, agility, and luck for the majority of my level ups.
Mhm.
And the one thing that's different that I'll do throughout all of them is I'll use a crystal to back up my not guaranteed one. So if I have luck up top and I know I'm getting a guarantee on luck, then I'll use my crystal on agility down below, and I'll have my higher one below and my lower one up top. So depending on which one I want, and I supplement it with the extra crystal just to make sure that I have a more
Yes.
greater odd to have 2 points than just one guarantee.
And did that kind of play out, at least 60-70% of what you wanted it to? Did it play out well like that, or?
I think so. And I mean, my testament is again this health and my MP.
Yep,
These are
exactly.
my
So
these
that
are
makes
my
sense.
did it work, did it not? Like I showed you before, you could go heavy into Vit and still have poor HP rolls, but like I said, you're hedging your bets. And then this is the one. This is the first transcendent and elite hero in the game. Second win and resurrection. So, like I said, yeah, I have a chance to figure out which one's going to be better. And to me, I feel like second win sounds better to me than resurrection, particularly in this case where, it's not a dread knight, but it's got 468 HP. So I wouldn't mind getting 234 HP back for me. And then
Yeah.
again, whatever 234 is times 0.75 for my uh, for my teammates, each of them, which would be 175.5 HP boom for both of those for using
what was those other traits? What was it? Clear vision and clutch?
Clutch and clear vision. That's right. So clutch is that it's going to get stronger when it's below 20 or 30%.
And you
then
can't be blinded.
You can't use that blinding winds on it.
Yeah, he did defense against blinding winds. That's pretty badass for a ninja too.
Yeah, ninjas can be great in this game. They can also suck. And these are one of my favorites. So I really hope that they do them, in a way that is gonna make me happy. Like, at least make me happy, then worry about everyone else.
You see, what I've been doing with my ninjas is I want to have toxic on my ninjas because ninjas have good luck.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's gonna kind of give you increase or help your odds with getting that toxic to hit.
I think so too. I think they've said Aiden and Workhorse have both said that toxic or luck is going to be one of the meta moves, luck and agility. Yeah. So we'll see if that actually pans out.
So I'm trying to make sure I try to put those on there. Plus, when I think about ninjas in my head, ninjas are poison guys. Poison darts, poison. What do you call them? Ninja stars and all that stuff. They're very familiar with like poison and all that type of stuff. So I figured in my mind,
I feel like
want to have it
for them. Look at this ninja. I made this one, mutated both.
Yeah.
Ninja archer, leather working, which I believe they're good at.
Nice luck too.
Very good at. This one is killer. I did not even notice this. So it's a ninja. It's leather working and it's lightning. So that's amazing.
Ooh, lightning. Nice.
It's a gardener, but it's a ninja archer, and it's got critical aim, poison blade, second life, and toxic.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that feels good to say. And I only used the lesser swiftest stone on this, but
that's okay.
Got a stone. Still got a stone.
Perfect. Poison blade and toxic.
Oh, and you can't forget, you always got to bring this up. It's got that pussy hair.
And he got the crown, man. The king freaking ninja right there coming through with the flames, dude. Yeah, you got some juicy ninjas, man.
Ninjas are my favorite. So I've got this one that I summoned. What is this? Level 5, and it's already got 25 agility, which is bananas, and it has a lesser vigor and a last stand. I was actually making ingredients. So this was to make a sage that I was going to burn. And the reason why I put a lesser vigor on here was in the off chance that for some reason I hit a mythic, I'd at least want, it'd at least have some sort of stone on it. And then lo and behold, look at what I got. It's got a mythic
ninja
with elite. And now
I got a legendary and a double elite ninja. So my double elite ninja, I believe, has, what is it? It's giant slayer and I think last stand on my double elite, and then my legendary is kind of similar to yours but without the second life. He has the poison blade and toxic, and I think he has foresight and another boot move on him. So he's pretty nice. But yeah, man, that's you got some beastie heroes, man. You're not playing around. But this is what we're talking about, people. Building. This is what happens when you sit here and you just analyze correctly, you put heroes together correctly, you're building. I'm sure when he's probably taking a hero, taking another one. Okay, do I want these traits onto this hero, putting them together and making some beastie dope shit.
Especially
for my perfect. Look at that. There we go.
With this one on here, so I'm actually way more bullish on the active elites than I am on the passive elites. Like for instance, I have Elite 1 Giant Slayer on a Dread Knight. Like, why? Unless I'm going up against Dread Knight crew, it's not going to be very valuable to me. It does say 10% bonus damage on monsters. I wish this was 30% bonus damage to heroes and 30% bonus damage to monsters.
That would have been big.
That would have been a lot more significant, and maybe maybe I still submit that as an opinion before the game's actually out. And then Last Stand, I like better than Giant Slayer.
Me too.
For a Dread Knight. Once you're below 20%, you're invulnerable for 1 round. So if you have double Last Stand, you've got 2 rounds where you can't even get hurt.
So good. Have double of that. That'll be
and
nice.
then Second Life is forever king to me. So some people think that, sometimes it's better to have Resurrection. Sometimes it's better to have Second Life. I could see how that could be, though. Imagine, what would you rather have? Second Life on your Thief, or would you rather have Resurrection on your Thief? And imagine your team is, you've got 1 Thief that's your only Transcendent, and you've got 1 Dread Knight. It's your only Dread Knight. It's all basic. Compared with that Thief, you'd probably want Resurrection to bring back that Dread Knight, versus getting a smaller nominal amount with the Thief in terms of HP economy.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. That's understandable.
That's why that Sage move to have Transcendent for another person, in my opinion, is better than having the Transcendent Second Life for itself. Yes, you get to save move economy, but if you're also thinking about HP being king in any PvP game, whoever has first one to run out of HP is typically the person that's going to lose. Of course, the Berserker has a move that slaps that in the face, but for the most part, HP is going to be king. I think that it's important to be able to have that flexibility and bring back, I'd rather get 300 HP from bringing back a Dread Knight than 100 from bringing back a Thief.
Yeah, I could understand that. Like that situation, I get it. If you have that dread, but like you said, not many people have these dreads. You know what I mean? Not many people have them. But even though, to bring back whatever tank you have in the front is going to be useful, because I don't want to sleep on some of these other classes, man. I don't want to sleep on I love the warrior. I'm loving the way the warrior's looking. The fact that he could be like this massive health defensive just tank that could just take massive damage while you have a spellbow or archer in the back just chopping away at the team while that warrior is just taking all that damage, right? So I'm trying to build a warrior for that. I'm trying to build a really tanky, vigged out warrior, and then put my spellbow with resurrection in the back, and then or in the middle, and then maybe have like a really dope priest in the back, just consistently healing that team while that spellbow is just slowly, steadily chopping away at that opponent. Yeah, you know what I mean? And then he could bring back the tank in the front.
I think so. I could be wrong, but I feel like the advanced and elite classes are going to have better heals.
Of course,
it doesn't make sense that if a priest and a wizard, like you've heard, the complication ranking of the heroes is knight is the easiest, and wizard is like masterclass difficulty. So if that's the whole entire spectrum, and even includes the advanced, elite, transcendent, and exalted classes, I don't think that they'd make it in a way where if you have to be good to win, but you could be you can have just as good of a winning percentage with a wizard, a priest, and a knight as you could with 3 dread knights. Well, then what's the reason of summoning to those higher classes if you can be just as good, just as effective with basic classes that just happen to be mythic? If that's what it is, then that's stupid. Just straight up.
I agree, but there has to be. You can't make anything in the game completely just untouchable. There has to be a way to be able to take down those guys that are summoning 50 dread knights.
Yeah, and I think of it like Stratego. Like, did you ever play that game, Stratego?
No, but I heard you talk about it.
Okay, in Stratego, at least the Fire and Ice version,
because I'm gonna buy it. I'm actually
Fire and Ice version. You have a tile. You don't know what you're going against with your opponent. It's basically capture the flag. The strongest one is like a 10 strength, and it's a dragon. It beats everything on the board except for traps. Number one, a trap can kill, anything, I think, except for a dwarf that can take out a trap, or a dragon slayer. And a dragon slayer is vice versa. It's like it's got
Anything
a 1
can kill
strength,
it.
and anything can kill the dragon slayer, but the dragon slayer can kill the dragon.
Yep.
So there's all
That's
these unique moves in it, and I don't want to talk too much about that game because I've got stuff in the works that
but
include
I was trying to tell people, man. I feel like that dread killer is gonna be the scholar, man. I feel like it, because what else is the scholar gonna be used for?
Well, so I think that's where crafting and these professions come into play.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe the scholar might be good at enchanting or alchemy. Maybe they aren't that great to have in PvP. Maybe they have a part, but maybe they're good at doing their support role. So, in my head, I've got my, call it 9 heroes total that are just my cream of the crop heroes. In my head, every single other hero that I have, the other hundreds heroes, those ones are working to accumulate mats, accumulate additional
Resources,
crafting items and stuff like that. But all of those work for those 9 top tier heroes that I am throwing in the best crystals in, the best, stones to summon them. And, for those other crafting heroes that are just going to go those basic billies that are forever going to be just floor heroes that are in profession gathering mats, I'll never use a crystal on those ones, but I'll level them up to optimize their crafting or their profession.
I'm very similar, man. Like, I got my wallet when I get all those rugs and all those heroes that I don't really want to use, I throw them to a little questing wallet. Now my wallet just questing, gathering resources for my what I call my beast wallet, which has all my PvP heroes in there, right? All my heroes that I want to use for battle. I don't have a lot of them, but I got a good amount of them. And those guys are just constantly sending resources back over there, to get crystals, to yada 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 yada, to get those guys to build and get better. And of course, I'm stacking resources over there too. So when it comes time to craft weapons and armor,
so like imagine you have imagine you do have a, let's see, on the very back here, a thief fisher that's basic. You probably wouldn't set that up for PvP whatsoever. That idea that you'd load up the vitality to boost up the HP on a hero that's destined to be crafting or profession questing. It makes absolutely no sense. You want to boost up that agility and luck so that its return on the fish that it brings you, that it's something it's already good at, is that much higher,
And yes, Skiller made a good point in the chat. He said maybe a warrior can craft a dread sword, or someone can craft a dread sword and apply it to a warrior, and a warrior can take out a dread with it.
I think that
that'd be possible.
Be able to use any of the weapons is what they said, but you'll have some stats around it that tell you whether or not you really want to have that. So like an archer can use a spear. It might be good at it because it has high dex. And it might be good at it because it has high strength, but its most effective will obviously most likely be the bow.
Yeah.
And, for that same thing, maybe what if an archer can use a spellbow's bow? Does that mean that your archer has spell bow abilities? I mean,
what do you think? Do you think the sub would actually play a role in there? Like maybe you can use a spell bow if you have a spell bow sub.
Yeah, I have a spell bow archer, and I don't know if that's going to be the meta for that. I know that the spell bow has attacks of physical items wrapped in magic, and most likely the archer is just magic or just physical attack.
Just complete dex and just luck and whatever, and just agility and just helping your spell bow grow with some accuracy, so you could be shooting people from friggin' yards away with his damn spell bow,
So
I'm wondering those spell bows, man. What do you think about spell bows, man? What are they gonna do? Like, what do you think they're gonna be doing though? Why is it a spell bow? What are they? Are they applying magic to the bow.
I think that the spell bow applies magic to their arrow,
That's
so
what I'm saying. Yeah, to the bow.
they
Yeah,
imbue their arrow with
fire,
magic,
ice, lightning.
and then you have a physical and magic attack. That's what I think.
That's what I was
Uh,
thinking too.
yeah, and I think that's right. So it's gonna be something that's effective against obviously your whole range of heroes in position 1, 2, or 3. It's gonna have physical and magical attack, and there could be traits that maybe it's similar to a wizard where the spell is ice, maybe the spell is fire, maybe the spell is arcane. They have high intelligence, so there's a lot of reason to support that. That's the reason why they're such good foragers, because the dex and the intelligence is so high, which leads me to believe if MP is influenced primarily by INT and wisdom, then more likely than not, it's going to be like a mage crossbreed of spellbow. And that's just in my head. I think it's going to be a magical attack, physical attack. It could be like the sage is just beast of magic attack, and then the spellbow has just a little bit less magic, but because you include the physical attack to it, maybe it's a more effective one in general. And I don't know, could be anything. It's fun to speculate, but I don't like to get too far ahead of myself, because if I really like an idea in my head and it comes out different, then I get salty.
Well, yeah, and we can't though, man, because we have no idea what the hell. Technically speaking, we're all just building, hoping we're right. We're all just building, hoping we're right or close to it.
To be
But that's
fair,
why I'm trying to broaden. But that's why I'm
things-
broadening my horizon, Starbuck. That's why I'm broadening my horizon. I'm trying to really look at all of the abilities, because I
There's
remember them
only a
saying,
handful of things that the Mythic squad's missed on so far.
well,
And I've
we've been
made it
doing
no
pretty good
secret.
so far, though, bro.
The things we've missed on, stats unknown, that was a big swing and a miss, and I've brought that up a lot of times, and I probably will. I just don't think that the solution of stats unknown just meant nothing, and we got nothing for the elites and higher level traits. Since those returned nothing, like, I don't know, it made me salty. I felt like they could have used a more imaginative build off of that. That's just in my head.
Hell yes, they could have, man. They could have made that anything. They could have made that magic.
Anything.
They could have made that like anything, dude.
Yeah,
And just to take it out and just put it just to pure crafting, yes, was a little bit of a bummer, because that's what they did, right? They just made it crafting.
yeah.
Basically.
So that made me care zero about the visual unknowns, and if the visual unknowns end up being just absolutely amazing, I'm gonna start a down with whoever's idea that is.
That won't be right, man, because they specifically said that visuals are just visuals. They don't really mean shit. You know what I mean? That's
Watch
what they
them
said.
flop on that. Well, the community in this area of the world has spoken.
I would love for my angel winged warrior to be able to fly around.
I think that's a given. I think that's happening. Like that's done. We saw the initial gameplay with a winged paladin or something, or priest, in that teaser that they made, and the priest or whatever hero it was flying. So the wings do seem to at least visually have an effect. I don't know if that's going to be anything in gameplay.
Would the arachnid legs be able to crawl around? You know what I mean? Like a
Right.
like, you know what I mean?
It's like Chun-Li, it bounces off the wall, you know?
Where the hell are all my heroes, man? This shit's saying 0. My shit's tripping out. But man, I'm just oh no, am I renting? I think I'm on the higher. Yeah. I'm thinking I'm on the higher. That's probably why. Like everything's saying 0. My shit's bugging out.
Is it Gen 0 time?
No, it was 8 hours when I checked at 10 o'clock.
Oh, so
we're not there. For some reason, it's saying nothing. I wanted to check out. You said there was 2 nights. You said for rent.
Oh yeah,
right.
There is a night for rent. You wanted?
Do you know the ID? Do you know the ID numbers for it by any chance?
Yes, I do.
Let's check
There's
them out. See what they do with this warrior.
But do you want to see the uncommon one first? It's 10 Jade. This is probably not going to be available. I'm just guessing because it's got such a low number.
Oh yeah. It's all good. It's all good, man. Like I'm not gonna necessarily do the summon right now. We weren't planning on actually doing the summon. I just want to show people what it's like to actually build heroes and look at heroes and shit like that. It's episode 1, man. So all right. You said what?
It's in the studio chat for that first one, and I'll pull up the second one.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah, boom. All right. Okay. You said that was Sarandel, right?
That's Jade. Yeah, so Sarandel. The next one's in Crystal Vale.
All right, let's check out what this one looks like real quick.
Oh shoot!
Then I'll decide what I'm gonna do.
My thing's gonna die. My laptop disappeared because my
laptop. Starbuck's laptop might die. Oh no! It didn't matter. We're almost done anyway, guys. Wait, hold on. I must have did something wrong. 85079.
Oh no, just 85079.
Oh, there's no zeros. Oh, okay. No. Say less.
But it is on Sarandel.
Say less. That rare berserker looking kind of nice there. All right. Okay, here's the Night. Okay. The Night. And that's for the elite. And what that gives, that's Giant Slayer, right? Yeah, that's the Giant Slayer right there, which would be pretty nice to put on him.
And I think that one has an advance in active 1 too.
Yep, which is the Hardened Shield, which is nice to put there. Because remember, I was gonna put Iron Skin. So if I can get the Hardened Shield, that would be nice, and hopefully keep the critical aim. And then maybe even the Headstrong.
What is that? Exhaust would be good too. Exactly. I think Exhaust and Days are going to play a strong part. I think they'll be like Stun Light.
What does Headstrong do? Okay, Headstrong takes you away from Days. Okay, that's actually pretty good for a front line too. So actually, even getting Headstrong there would be good. But yeah, that 37 weather efficient right here. Yeah, Exhaust would be nice though. Yeah. 0.0. Look at that, man. 7-3. What is that? Beeve odds, man. I know Beeve's been out there hitting like super low ass percentages and crazy shit. Beeve, I see you out there, bro. I see you out there hitting some crazy stuff.
He got a double.
That's not a bad one.
I think he got a double elite last week too. Double elite Dragoon rare, I think.
Top G. And then you said the other one is where?
In a chat. There you go. It's 1-0-0-0-0-2-1-6-1-8-8.
1-2-6-8-8-8.
2-1-6-1-8-8. But you got to put the 1 million in front of it.
Yeah, I feel you. Shit, I think I got this right. Yeah, but usually it's Priest and Thief. Yes, Beeve. Yes. Let's check this out real quick, guys. Then I'll decide what I'm going to do at some point in time, because that's 15 to higher. Got the Priest sub.
An additional summon.
Yep, an additional summon. Okay. Yep, the 6/6.
I like the uncommon better because it has double advance. So especially on that warrior, if you do mutate to a paladin, I think that having that Hardened Shield on a paladin is going to be valuable.
Definitely, bro. Even if it was
shield, huh?
Even if it was to stay a warrior, having that on it would be fire too. Hardened Shield, Hardened Shield's pretty good on most whatever character you're gonna have on that front line. Having that Hardened Shield is gonna be nice, man. To take to help with damage, man.
Paladin Bard, so you're gonna have some speed on there too.
Well, I'm hoping to inevitably make a Paladin Spellbow.
Yeah, that would be dope.
So that is the goal, man. So yes, if I get the Paladin Bard, then I'll just try to find maybe a Paladin Shapeshifter, smash them together, and get the Paladin Spellbow.
Nice.
That will be the initial goal here, right? That's going to be the goal if I do mutate it. But we'll see what happens, man. When I decide, I'm probably gonna go with the other one. To be honest with you, because the other one had that hardened shield, and I would want to keep that hardened shield on there, right? So that's probably what
Yeah,
I'll
that's
inevitably
what I
do.
would have gone for too. And it's a
Yeah.
night. I mean, obviously you want to get a spell bow, but if you can get a paladin bard, you'll still be one step closer to a paladin spell bow.
E- exactly. But all right, guys. All right. We're not gonna stay here for 1,000 years because we could talk for freaking hours about building heroes and shit like that. I love you guys, man. Love you guys. This is just episode 1, so we don't know where the hell this is gonna take us. This hero building series can take us anywhere. I'm trying to bring all different types of people on, so it's not gonna just be one-on-ones all the time. I'll be bringing other people on. We're gonna do all types of stuff. All types of Mythic squad members are gonna be coming on. We're gonna bring all types of people. Wow, we everybody. We're gonna just talk about
Grady,
heroes.
the
Yes,
whole
yes,
family.
Grady, Apex, everyone. Right. I wanna bring on some people to talk a little bit more in depth about stones and crystals so people can really understand why to use them and how important they really, really are. Right. Because
Yeah,
you know,
I'm on Team Stone every time. If I
me
can't
too.
afford to use a stone, then I can't afford to do the summon. It's like
Yeah.
if I'm there is an exception to that. If I'm doing a summon that I absolutely know I'm not going for anything, and maybe I'm just trying to kill a summon so I can get to something else to even it up for a mutation possibility, meaning I got a hero that's got 2 summons and I got a hero at 1 summons. If I want to have that mutation possibility to earn the summons from the hero I'm taking, then it makes no sense for me to waste that first summons. I'll use it with something else. Most likely, if there's a move attached to it, I'll rent a spell bow on the cheap or an elite class, and then I'll have that hero with a paired summon 1-to-1. So if it's a ninja summoner, and if it does mutate from that summon, then I get a sage with a summon.
Quick question though. What if you're summoning to burn? Like, what if you're summoning to get a giant slayer, but you're gonna burn that giant slayer with a hero that has, let's say, second wind, and you want a double elite?
It depends on the hero that I'm going for. So if I'm going for like a sage, like I had an example today where I had that ended up getting a mythic ninja. The only mythic ninja I had was one that I bought on stone because I had just struck out so many times getting a mythic ninja. I
Yeah.
was finally able to summon a ninja that I did summon with even a lesser stone. It did get an elite ability that mutated from that. And now, all of a sudden, that ninja is a keeper that I'm going to want to see how it performs
True,
at level
because it came
100.
with the mythic. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that is true. That is true. But there you have it, guys. There you have it. A little bit episode 1. Hope you guys had fun. Hope you guys got to see some cool heroes. You got to see us talk about some cool abilities, all that dope shit. So we love y'all. It's ALP Hero Building Series, episode 1. Love y'all. Let's get the hell out of here, man. Be back for episode 2 next week. All right, guys. Let's go.
Keep it mythic, yo.
Yes, Mythic Squad all day. All right, all right.